Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and today it's only me because Neon is elsewhere. So we're going to talk about another strike possibly happening. So the Animations Guild is getting ready because they're going to go start negotiating with AmpTip. And what they're mostly concerned about are things like AI and the massive layoffs, which I can't say I blame them. I mean, those are valid reasons to be concerned. And it's interesting given the fact that, Disney just did Inside Out 2, and they're like, number 10 on the highest grossing films of all time. And right before it was released, they laid off a bunch of people at Pixar. And we have all these stories of these different studios outsourcing things and work ending up in North Korea and all kinds of stuff like that. And how they're trying to go cheaper and cheaper. And now we have Hollywood Animation Guild, ready to fight to get their new contracts. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. And we're going to go to this article from the Hollywood Reporter. The Animation Guild fires up members at pre-negotiations rally. We're going to win our industry back. Now, in this case, I do feel that they have a lot of reasons to be concerned. They're facing layoffs, which we talked about, outsourcing, which we also talked about at length, and now AI. And companies, they're just trying to do stuff cheap. They don't care, they'll use AI. If it gets to a point where AI works, they're going to use it. And I think AI should be a tool used to help. I don't think it should be used to replace people. If you have a lot of people at a job and you only need half of those people, to get the job done, I can understand not having as many people. But to replace them just because of AI, I don't agree with. So they had a rally in Burbank on Saturday, okay? And there is the IATSE Local 839. They organized the event because they're going to go into negotiations with AmpTip, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, this week. And they were trying to get a new 3-year contract. So they said they gathered in the parking lot of IATSE, Local 80, and the temperatures and blah, blah, blah. And then the attendees heard from guild leaders, politicians, rank and file workers, and some people like, Guillermo del Toro said a rallying cry telling them to fight like hell. There are a lot of people like, del Toro, and I know like Miyazaki over at Ghibli and stuff, they're like anti-AI. They're like, AI is the death of creativity. And Neon is a little more, I think, accepting of it than I am. I think it's okay if it's going to help you sometimes, but I'd never think it's a good idea to replace people with it. I think it's also a slippery slope and it's very concerning given the power they want to give it, even when it's not ready. We were just talking today about, trying to find messages to see about something we need to know about. And Neon was going back through the messages. He couldn't find it because the AI messes it up. And they keep pushing the AI stuff to the forefront. Not what people want. The Hollywood Reporter continues. The overall message was summed up by the union president, Jeanette Moreno-King. We're at a crossroads in the industry with uncertainties we haven't faced before. True. We're not just defending our jobs, we're defending the soul of the industry. Also true. The thing about having people, the human touch makes a difference. And where, computers can try to replicate it, they don't understand the emotion other than what the numbers and the data tells them. And it's not really, really understanding the nuance of human emotion. And I think with animation, there's different things that they can do with characters and stuff that they little quirks or things they can do, like little mannerisms that get across a more humanistic approach, make you more relate to those characters than an AI would do. So now they're trying to fight to not be replaced by AI. And they have one of the people that were talking was Mike Rionda, who said that compared to the plot of The Mitchells versus the Machines, it's funny that I'm now part of a group of actually human underdogs who are fighting a very real threat of robotic replacement with AI, he joked. So AI is one of their big things they're worried about. But because of AI, we're seeing a lot of layoffs. I think outsourcing is also seeing a lot of layoffs. Now, I will agree with the studios in the fact that, I understand why you might need to outsource out of Hollywood. Hollywood is very expensive, and other studios might do the job better and cheaper. Unfortunately, it's really expensive to live in LA and places like that. I think it'd be better if people could start their own animation groups, or they could outsource to different places in the country. So people didn't have to live in LA to get work, and they could still make a good living. It would save the company money, and they might be happier for it. But that's just my opinion on that, and you can get mad at me all you want. I don't think they should be replaced with AI, though. So the union's bargaining on behalf of more than 5,000 animation workers. That they already disclosed that the regulating generative AI is one of the top priorities. Yeah, actually, they sent out a few days ago this statement. They said major Hollywood unions and guilds issued joint statement urging studios to value and respect animation workers. Here's what they had put out. This is their solidarity statement. 11 entertainment unions issued it. We stand with the members of TAG as they seek contractual provisions that set fair wages and working conditions, preventing overwork and safeguarding workers from the impact of artificial intelligence. Now, the overwork, we have talked about this before. I know people had come out discussing conditions of animation studios and the crunch time and things like that, and how it was ridiculous and people were sleeping, in the office, and they would, basically the people in charge, they underestimate how long something takes to actually do. We see this with VFX workers. They want to make last minute changes, but they don't account for how much time it takes, but you're supposed to make it work. And I do think that overwork is a problem in things like gaming and, animation. TAG negotiates independently of IATSE's West Coast studio locals to address the unique priorities of animation workers. They do so with full collective backing. We also call on AmpTip to negotiate in good faith, show the value, respect your animation workers, and make meaningful moves to address their specific priorities. One thing they might have in their favor is Inside Out 2. Because before, Hollywood was kind of like, well, we're just going to start canceling animation projects because they're not performing. And then here comes Inside Out 2. So it might benefit them, because Inside Out 2 is heading for $1.6 billion and is, the number 10 largest movie of all time, not just animated, movies in general. So right now might be a good time to ask for things. Like, I know Neon always says about, when everything's down, it's not a good time to ask your daddy for a pony. But right now, the neighbor's show pony just won a huge amount of money. Now might be a good time to ask for a new pony. The unions that signed the statement were the American Federation of Musicians, Directors Guild of America, International Alliance for Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Labor's International, it goes on and on. So they're talking about how Monday the Animation Guild is going to begin negotiations for their agreement. And they're hoping that they're really worried about AI. So we're going to go back to this. They're really, really, really concerned about that, understandably. So they said in an interview at the event with The Hollywood Reporter, negotiating committee member and writer Joey Clift asserted that union was fighting for the careers of current and future animation workers. This really, for us, feels like a do or die negotiation cycle. And I have to agree with that. At the heart of it, it's AI. Another Dual Writers Guild of America Animations Guild member, Bill Walkoff, who has been a member of the later union since 2009, emphasized that he has never seen the animation workers so fired up. This is the most engaged I've ever seen them. I'm very excited to be out here for that reason, to be part of it. Yeah, because like I said, we're seeing a lot of jobs get outsourced. Well, Disney had that whole secret studio in Canada working on the Moana TV show, which ended up being Moana 2, and that came out of nowhere. We see all these companies outsourcing things to South Korea or China, and it ends up going to North Korea, which is, we've talked about that at length about the investigations there because it's cheaper. And I'm like, Jesus, how many middlemen they have in that? Why couldn't they just, find more independent studios that might be able to do it for a more reasonable amount here? But that's a whole other story. They're understandably upset, and they have good reason to be. I'm going to back them on this one because the AI and the job, the layoffs, and the outsourcing are big concerns. Now, that being said, like I said with the different strikes last year, if you only have so many jobs, you can't expect everybody to keep their job. You can't ask for so much that it puts, that it's going to cost your job. You might get a lot of what you want, but it might cost a lot of jobs. I'm hoping with the success of Inside Out 2 and looking ahead, like Moana 2 is going to do really well and stuff too, that we're going to see more demand for animation. But then we have stuff going on at Netflix, like they're canceling things, and then they're like probably going to, Skydance to try to get, their projects done. Now John Lasseter's over there. So I think while there's some places in animation that's going to do better, other places might not do so much better. It is what it is. But the AI thing is very concerning. It's not just them. Every other industry is fighting against the AI. And when they might be able to avoid it in some industries, animation, I think, is one that might take a hit. And even if they avoid it now, I think in a few years when it's even better, they might not avoid it. I'm hoping we see that it doesn't work as well and they maybe just go back to hiring people. But whoever gets left might either get more money or might have to take less. But I think eventually it's the AI is going to win out because they don't care. Corporate just wants to make money. They don't care. So they said, packing in the F-bombs. I understand that. Writers Guild of America West board member Adam Conover. God, I can't stand Adam Conover. Drew loud applause during a speech of the group. He advocated for animation workers not to seek out the respective companies during negotiations. You do not need their respect because they will never give it to you. Well, yes and no. Their respect doesn't matter. What matters is your respect for yourself. Your respect for yourself is great. Doesn't pay you. So I think you have to watch it with what Adam's telling you. What matters is your respect for yourself. And if you respect yourself enough to say, you know what, I will not work for you until I get what I deserve, then you will fucking win. Don't listen to Adam. Because I wouldn't. No, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have to meet halfway on this one, I think. Because if you push too hard, they're just going to send it to other places. They're just going to outsource more jobs. Is it right? No. It's completely not right. I agree with you guys on this one. But I do think if you push too far, your jobs are easily replaced in other. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just telling you like it is. Will it be done as well? I don't know. Maybe. It depends where they send it. But they're already sending it out because it's cheaper. And if they could save money, hell, just to show you what's what, even if they know it'll cost them more money, they'll probably send it overseas anyway just to piss you off. How dare you ask them for more money? It's not right. And I do think you guys need to definitely get some kind of negotiation going about the AI and stuff. But they'll lay you off. It's probably going to go the same way as every other strike did. Those who get left behind will get more, but a lot of you will get gone. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's probably what's going to happen, especially if you listen to Adam. So anyway, what do you think? Please comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.